guys, it's Kim and I'm back today with my pull list. I'm getting in a little bit early this week because tomorrow night I'm going to see Spider-Man. I'm so freaking excited to see it. I'm just really pumped. So I'm hoping to do a review for that straight after the film and have that up on the weekend. And then on the weekend I'm going away to the mountains, so I won't have any time to do any editing. So I haven't actually gone to the comic book store to pick up my comics yet because obviously they're not ready. So I thought this week I would just list the comics that I picked up and I'll try put the variant covers or whatever covers I get up here in the corner. So first book we have is Superman issue number 26. So issue number 25 saw the end of the Black Dawn arc, which I actually found it to be quite fun. I liked the arc. I mean, didn't have the best villains, didn't have the most amazing story, but I feel like it ended on a really good note and I was really excited to read a little bit more about modern day Manchester Black. I'm actually more excited for this issue because issue number 26 we'll finally get to see the move to Metropolis. It has already been happening in Action Comics, so it will be nice to see that continuity of the consequences of the super fan in Metropolis. The next two issues go hand in hand with each other because if you have been watching my pull list, I dropped Batman quite a while ago. I think it was like on issue 10 or 11. I just wasn't really keen on the Monster Men story, and then it was just going in some weird direction and I didn't really want to follow it anymore, so I dropped it. Probably a very hasty decision, as I have stayed on a lot of other different books that haven't been that great and worse than Batman, and I haven't dropped them yet, so I felt like, yes, it was a bit of a hasty decision. So if you have been watching my videos, you will know that I picked up the Button issues from Batman and I had no problem following them. So I saw recently in some of the comic book advertisements that Batman was gonna do a Riddler arc, and I was like, oh my god, way to go to just drop it when they decide to do that. So if you guys are unaware, my all-time favorite Batman villain is Scarecrow, and then it is the Riddler. I absolutely love the two of them, and anything with the Riddler in, I really want to read. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to pick up Batman and start reading it again. So this week I picked up Batman issue number 25, which is apparently the start of the whole Riddler arc. So I'm hoping that it's an okay jumping on point because obviously I haven't read any of the stories between the Button and this particular one. And I also picked up issue number 26 from Batman because this is the one that's come out this week. So I am so keen to start reading this and read about the Riddler in Batman, and if it's really good, I'm going to continue picking up this series and I'll have a Batman in my pull list, as I should. Next issue in DC is Shade the Changing Girl issue number 10. So I was sent this one by DC Comics. I just did a review on it. It's probably up on the DC Fans channel either now or it might be tomorrow or the day after. So if it is up, I will leave a link here or I will put it in the description below. So if you do want to see me reviewing this one over on the DC Fans channel, over you go. Last thing for this week in my DC Comics section is it's not really an issue and it's not really new, but if you guys have been following the DC Fans channel, I did a while ago review volume 1 of Peter David's run on Supergirl. So this series is from the 90s and it's post-Crisis, so I don't really want to give away the events of Crisis, so if you haven't read Crisis, it's pretty important to the Supergirl continuity in the DC universe. But Peter David's run is not actually about Kara Danvers, it's about Linda Danvers, and she's not actually Supergirl. She's like this variation of Supergirl that like melded with this character called Matrix. So that's what the whole series is about, and I did actually review volume 1, which I really loved. It's quite different to what you know about Supergirl, but I actually really enjoyed it. The storylines were quite weird and quirky, so I did review that over on the DC Fans channel like last year sometime, I think, because they are just starting to release them in volume. So I will leave a link somewhere here or in the description below if you want to go watch that book. But the reason that I'm talking about this book in particular is because I realized that the second book had come out not too long ago, and I asked DC, oh my god, can I please review this one? So they sent me a free copy of this, which I'm so keen on. So this is Supergirl book 2 by Peter David. I'm going to be reading this hopefully over the weekend and then review it, and it will be out on the DC Fans channel really soon. Now moving on to Marvel issues, we have Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe again, issue number 1 that came out. So I picked that one up. If you have been watching my videos for a while, I did review Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe quite a while ago, I think a few years ago, and I have the trade paperback of it. So I will leave a link here in the description below if you want to go watch that review if you are going to be picking up this particular issue, oh my god, I feel like I'm plugging myself so much. This video, I am sorry, there's just a lot of continuity in terms of the things I'm talking about. So yes, I 100% am picking this one up because I am so keen to read what they do this time. The next issue I picked up is Spider-Man issue number 1, Master Plan. I really like the premise on this one, so that's why I decided to pick it up. And Marvel is doing this really great thing at the moment where they are releasing all these different Spider-Man issues from all different ages. If you've seen some of the ones coming out, they're called the True Believers. I think they might be $1 in the US. Here they're only $2, so they are so good to be picking up. Just random ones from like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I picked up a few last week and I think the week before as well. I picked up some more this week that I'm going to go through with you guys. So the first one we have in the True Believers is Amazing Fantasy starring Spider-Man issue number 1. So this one is a reprinting from 1962, which is very exciting. Then we have True Believers Spider-Man issue number 1. This is a reprinting from 1990. And the last True Believers I picked up is The Amazing Spider-Man Brand New Day issue number 1. And this one's a reprinting from 1999. So if you're wondering what the beep is happening with all these True Believers and cheap Spider-Man comics, obviously what Marvel's doing is really great at the moment because Spider-Man is being released very, very soon. Tomorrow here in Australia, which is so exciting. So releasing these little well, they're not really one-shots, they're part of a larger series, but these smaller, like one-off comics that you can just pick up and kind of get into the mood of Spider-Man is a very good initiative by them, and making them super cheap is keeping everyone super happy. So that is it from DC and Marvel. We're now going to go into independent ones. So the first one that I picked up is Motor Girl issue number 7. And I have been following this since the start. The first issue I picked up was so weird and kooky. It was a very sort of comedic style of writing and story, and it has progressed so far. It's now literally gone into dark comedy. There's so many dark elements to this that you just did not expect. And I'm really surprised, but I'm really, really loving this particular series. There's so many different layers that are happening in terms of the main character and finding out so much more about her. Those that don't know about this series, it revolves around this girl who served in the military and she has so much trauma, but you don't really know about it until a few issues in, and you start to think, hang on a second, some of these weird kooky things are making a little bit of sense now because of the backstory that's been slowly explained. So I think this slow progression into revealing all this information about her, probably one of the best developed stories that I've seen in a comic in a really, really long time. This is definitely a series that will not disappoint. Next independent issue I picked up is Gem of the Holograms, Misfits Infinite, issue number 1. So if you have been watching my pull list and the books that I got, I was reading Gem the Misfits. It was a very short series about all the different girls from the Misfits. I haven't read any of Gem and the Holograms comics before. Never read any of them. So the first one I ever read was about the Misfits. And I like the characters so much, I really wanted to continue reading about them. So I decided I was going to pick this issue up. If you do want to pair it with the series that I was reading before, it's a really good series. It's about a punk rock band called the Misfits that are not doing very well lately, so they sign on to do a reality show. And you see everything about their lives. What's great about it is that each issue you're learning about one of the characters and it's focused all on them. So I feel like I know the characters pretty well now, which is good. So I feel like jumping into this new series is going to have a smooth transition. And the last issue for this week is Unsound issue number 2, which I have talked about before because I picked up issue number 1, read it in the last week or two, and it was such a good book to pick up. I absolutely love horror books. This book is by Cullen Bunn, who is an amazing horror writer. He's so good. If you've read any of some of the Deadpool comics, so Night of the Living Deadpool, Return of the Living Deadpool, such good stories. I really love them. He's a really good horror writer, and this is no different. It's amazing. If you don't know what the series is about, it's basically about a nurse that goes into a new job, a psychiatric ward, and all these crazy things start happening. Like she starts to see demons and weird creatures, and it's got such a creepy vibe that I really enjoy. And if you like horror and that kind of thing, 100% get this. The only negative thing I can say about this particular comic is that the art isn't that nice. I am someone who really likes very attractive art. But this particular art, it makes me feel like my skin is crawling. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but I'm not liking the art so much. I mean, that being said, it does kind of go with the horror themes, but I'm still on the fence about the art. I can't quite fully get into this comic. because of the artwork. So guys, that was my full pull list for this week. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you them physically in person, but let me know what you guys picked up this week by leaving a comment below. As I said, I'm seeing Spider-Man Homecoming tomorrow night and I'm very, very excited. I will probably get home quite late, so I don't know if I can film a review before I go to bed and wake up for work, but we will see how we go. If you enjoyed this video, guys, give it a like and subscribe below. And if you want to follow me on any social media, I have Twitter, I have Instagram, I have Goodreads, and Goodreads is a really good one because that's where I normally post ratings and reviews of the comics that I've done, and I don't always talk about them here on YouTube. All those links are in the description below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye.